It's 7 p.m. and you know what time it is. It is time for Apple Wind Down. How are you doing? What a freaking week, man. We're still Wednesday and it feels like, I don't know, it feels like I've been through at least 14 days. What date is it, Valentine's? It's the 4th. But it feels like, yo... Woo! Hey, my love girl, how you doing? Hey, T. Hey, Deborah. Jesus, this crowd. Look, I'm just gonna dilly-dally for a little bit, for like a minute or two, just to see who else is joining. And also, to give myself enough time to surrender to the fact that I've decided to talk about one of the things that I don't dare open my mouth and say. So, hectic. Definitely nervous because I feel like this is definitely a reality for me, and I've never really had the courage to say it out loud. So, when I was asking that question about why do you doubt yourself so much, I know, I put it out there, blah, but I also was challenging myself, because thank God for wine also. Okay. Shall we? So, essentially, I guess we can give a definition of what imposter syndrome is. Briefly, it is chronic self-doubt, right? It is feeling like you're a fraud. It is feeling like you don't belong in certain spaces. And no matter how accomplished you are and how much you've proven over and over again that you have the capacity to be in that space, or you literally belong by virtue of whatever the reasons are. But imposter syndrome will remind you just how much you don't belong, right? There's people who are in incredible positions who have the syndrome. So it's not necessarily about self-doubt or lack of confidence. It's more about probably perfectionism, I think. I don't know. I'm also like constantly feeling like an imposter. It's also the idea of never wanting to fail. So you feel like you never should fail. And because you feel like you never should fail, you're most likely succeeding quite a lot at the things that you do. And the more you succeed is the more you never want to fail. And the more you feel like you never want to fail, the more you feel like an imposter. Because you feel like, yo, one of these days they're gonna catch me out and they're gonna know I'm a fraud. And the funny thing is that a lot of us don't know, a lot of us don't know a lot of things, and concepts come and they go and people learn about stuff, and it's only then that they're able to kind of share with other people. But for whatever reason, imposters, for little better word, feel like they must know, right? They feel like they must know, and they feel like they must look a certain way for people to kind of be able to consume them in specific ways. And they feel like, if you don't speak a certain way and if you don't behave a certain way, people are going to catch you out on a lie. But there's no lie to catch you out on, right? I'm going to give, as usual, an example about myself and just like my lack of, my self-doubt, really, because I think I definitely feel like I have the capacity to do a lot of things, but I feel like everybody else thinks I'm a fraud. feel like everybody else thinks I'm effort, and that one of these days somebody's gonna say, oh, we know that girl and she doesn't belong there. And it is the most anxiety inducing feeling in the world. And sometimes it's one of the reasons why I don't want to get out of bed, because I feel like the spaces I don't belong. I mean, I work in various spaces, and I think I'm really incredible at what I do, but for whatever reason, I doubt it. Like, people will tell me, yo, you did that, you remember you did this? I'm like, yeah. And I think, oh, shame, Taryn's just saying that to be nice, you know? Or this person is just saying that because they don't want to be uncomfortable. But the truth is that you're incredibly amazing. I mean, I'm incredibly amazing. And I belong in those spaces. Last year in November, I was invited by Peggy Caesar to be part of a panel, and the panel had researcher doctor, and it had the deputy director of the Department of Health, and it had people who had written and put in their life's work into working with ARVs and understanding the correlation between ARVs and contraceptives, amongst other things. And I was on that freaking panel. Dude, and all my brain kept telling me, dude, you only have a matric. How dare you? How dare you think that you're going to sit up there with deputy directors of National Department of Health? How dare you think that you're going to sit with people who have done research work over a period of time? How dare you think you can sit on the Peggy Sister Institute of Health Journalism and talk about contraceptives? Cece, which health course did you do? Like, what makes you think that you can talk about contraceptives? Because we're now healthcare worker happy. And I was shocked in my pants because I felt like I had nothing to say that anybody wanted to hear. Guys, the tear and the amount of preparation, because I mean, if you're going to be on a panel, we have to prep anyway. But the amount of preparation I did, and I was still afraid. I was deathly afraid. I couldn't take information in because I felt like I could never say anything there that was going to be beyond what the doc would say, because the deputy director is a doctor and experienced in the health department. I could never say anything that anybody wanted to hear because all of these people are experts. Who the hell do I think I am? Here you in. I was just like, yo, should I cancel? Should I give this to somebody else to do? But they called me by name. You can't pull out of this. You're going to be amazing. No, I'm not going to. The internal conversations that take place are probably the worst, because when you talk to other people are like, what are you talking about? You're going to kill it. What they will never know is how the anxiety, like feeling like a freaking imposter, like I don't, like, why am I even walking? Like, no amount of dressing up and putting on makeup would make me feel like I don't belong here. And the introductions, you know, there's a lady who's an HIV positive, activist who's also HIV positive, and her understanding of the way that HIV works in the relation to the body, and I'm just like, I shouldn't get on the stage. And it's really a setup, and it's also a lie. And it's unfortunate because it's a lie that you believe in. You're right. Like, you enter spaces and people look at what we've been doing in terms of our work and our credentials, you know, and that should be enough, no? And Namtika's talking about how she's been avoiding spaces. So another thing, right, about imposter syndrome is how you then take on the least amount of responsibility because you don't want to fail. So if kuthiwa there's an executive director or there's an executive whatever, like the highest post, you would probably go for a menial one because you think that if you took on the highest post available, you would never be able to perform, and you would never be able to, you don't have the capacity or the capability. And what boggles me, my mind really does boggle when sanity kind of sets in, is how much work you've done and how beautiful your work is. I mean, my work, when I speak about myself a lot, is that I'm not even able to package myself properly as a consultant, as a project manager, as whatever, because I'm so afraid that people are going to read it and go, oh, yeah, but I've done all of these things. I have no reason to believe that any of it is a lie, but I believe it. And when people pull me in to do the work, I'll do the work and think as I'm handing it in, oh God, it's not good enough. And now they're going to know for sure that I'm lying. And oh my God, Dika. So let's talk about being an imposter and procrastination, because I feel like those babies know each other. They're freaking siblings. They know each other so well. So Nomtika is saying sometimes procrastination can be due to the intimidation you feel about a task. It's not always being lazy. The imposter syndrome and procrastination are freaking twins. In fact, they're probably quadruplets, because there's other behaviors that are related to imposter syndrome that are self-defeating and paralyzing, and they kind of lend themselves to you really feeling like a fraud, right? And the thing about procrastination, for me, I'll say it for myself. And before I do, let me just read what Bulumko is saying. Sometimes that occurs in relationships too, but we're taught to flag it as insecurity, jealousy, or low self-esteem. Bulum, why are you speaking my life? Bulumko speaking my life. Because you be in a relationship that's functional, that is healthy, and your brain will be like, oh, wow. They're going to catch you, Uti, you're not as fantastic as you're putting it out to be. That time you're genuinely being yourself. They're going to catch you. You know what they're going to think? They are going to think that you're putting it on. Oh, no, you're paying too much attention. Oh, no, you're being too cool about it. And that time you're that guy, you know. Oh, no, you're being too romantic. They're going to know that you're not that person, right? And just flip back to procrastination. The thing about me and procrastination is that I self-doubt so much until it's crunch time. And then during crunch time, I have no time to overthink anything. I'm literally working on adrenaline until that thing is done. And what I found about it, though, is that the quality of my work, the quality of my work because of procrastination is not properly edited, is not properly seen through, and it's watered down, and it's not the best it could be because I've taken too long to get down to the business of what I needed to do. I'm sorry that it's hitting hard, Nomtika, but we're here for this debrief. Have a drink, baby. Have a drink. So the quality of your work is then not as fantastic as it would be. And so then when you read it in retrospect, when you've suspected it and you're like, oh, damn it, this could have been this and this and this, then that part of yourself that feels like an imposter goes, but I told you that you're a fraud. Look at the work that you've submitted. Right? Or you get into a relationship and this person experiences you and already you're feeling like, this person is too good for me. Oh no, I don't like this and this and this, and now I'm allowing it. And maybe you said you didn't like this and this because you felt like that could never happen for you. And now it's happening. And for whatever reason, the relationship ends or it carries on. And a part of your brain goes, you're not good enough for this thing. You are fraud. When did you learn how to love when? Now I got to school that I'm telling you, you don't know how to do this. This person is going to disappoint you because you're not good enough. It's in chill. And then you self-sabotage, right? Much like procrastination, imposters self-sabotage. You do yourself like over, like hard, like you hurt yourself in incredible ways that reinforce that feeling that you're not supposed to be here, you know? Nomtika says this morning, I told Les and Lulama that someone asked to be my mentee, but I didn't feel worthy. I felt I wasn't a worthy mentor material. And this is look, Shaista, yo, listen, I think it's one of it's the hardest kind of, for lack of a better word, psychosis. You know, that feeling like I can think I'm fake, man. I feel like I'm fake. Like, you don't deserve success. You don't deserve professional accolades. You feel like somehow others have been deceived into thinking otherwise. Like they don't know who I really am. Because if they did, they would never believe me. They would. If they did, then they would know how much I've fought for. I just don't want people to find out. You know, it's like, oh my God, Blumgo. Oh my goodness, what an incredible family you've got. Oh, what an incredible relationship you've got. Oh my God, you did such incredible work. And you're like, oh man, I just got lucky. The time you worked your hiney off. You have to dismiss it as being lucky because there's simply no way in your mind you've worked yourself into a position of that nature. There's simply no way in your mind you've journeyed with yourself emotionally and psychologically to be able to get to a point where you're able to be in a relationship that's fulfilling. And so you sabotage things. How many of us are self-sabotaging? I need to know this thing. How many of us are self-sabotaging? How many of us are procrastinators? How many people do you know that work their butts off and still be like, oh no, it's no big deal, way too. Or they'll be like, oh my God, you know, I just got really lucky because I knew Taryn and Taryn knew Les and Les knew Bulumko and Bulumko knew Justin and that's how I got the work. Or, you know, I did a bit of reading and luckily when I did the bit of reading, it happened to come up. That time you've got mountains and mountains and mountains of body of work that you don't believe in. That you think that if people believe an impression of you, like it's the weirdest thing. Like to you it's not real. I gave them that impression with your work. You gave them that impression with your personality. You gave them that personality, that impression with the way that you carry yourself. You gave them that personality in various ways, but the anxiety, because also, so it's procrastination, it's self-sabotage, it's anxiety that goes with imposter syndrome. Because the anxiety that, oh my God, people are going to know. Like, I'm not gonna be the smart one in the room. I'm just gonna be quiet and aloof because then if I'm too smart, they're gonna find out that I'm actually not really that smart. They're gonna know that I don't have a PhD in this. I mean, I'm saying all these things, but like I don't have the education to back it up. Hivo, stop it. I'm saying that to you and I'm saying it to myself. We need to stop it. Ugh. It's such an unnecessary struggle. It's such an unnecessary struggle. You know, we need to. Oh my God, Tebuko is talking about one of my words. Wait. Taryn is saying you also end up feeling unworthy and undeserving of good things. Absolutely, because you're an imposter. How are you going to get nice things, Taryn, if you're an imposter? Oh my God, Pumla. Oh my God. Oh my God. Hi, everybody. How would you deserve nice things if you're an imposter? Like, because insistently you think I don't belong here. So when you get nice things, they don't belong to you. It's only for Abo Tebucho, for Abo Pumla, for Abo Tando. You know, it's never for you. Nice things are never for you. You know, pretty girl, you can't be pretty and smart. You know, there was like, for the longest of time, I felt like I couldn't be pretty and smart. And so I chose to be smart because that's what the world told me. Because if I was pretty, then in relation to what I believed, nobody would ever believe I was smart. You know? But I later found out that I'm really pretty and like it's problematic. Like now it's late for everyone. But also when there's pretty people, I get into that place and I feel like, oh, everybody else is so beautiful except for me. And when everybody goes, you're so beautiful, I'm like, oh my God. I think I might actually die because they're gonna, oh my God, I'm gonna take off these lashes, I'm gonna take off this wig, I'm gonna color my hair again, and then they're gonna know that I'm not that pretty. You know? Deborah is saying the fear of pressing enter and to send an email that could change your life. Ezingaphi, like there's times when I'll put together a document and then I look at it until it's past the time when I'm supposed to submit it, and then I'm just like, oh well, they wouldn't accept it anyway because go late and go and I never send it. You know, and Deborah, I just want to call you out in front of everyone. We're still waiting for that comedy showcase. Excuse me, we're still waiting for those comedy skits. You know, we're still waiting for you to MC for us because you're so incredibly talented that way. And you have to believe it. You need to know. And I know saying you have to believe it is not good enough. So maybe you need to change the self-speak. I don't know, you know. Self-speak. What is the same speak? Self-speak. You need to change it and remind yourself that you've worked for this and that you've been in spaces where you were the life of the party and you didn't imagine it was really there. And so we wait, you know. Like I do random shit like, because I also feel like, you know, fashion is for skinny people. So I do random shit like wear crop tops and off the shoulder tops, just so my brain can live in the reality of me looking hot in these clothes, right? So there I am with my boobs hanging out and my rolls hanging out, and my brain is suffering because I believe that fashion is for other people, you know. I can't even go to gym, Buluga. I can't go to gym because I'm like, where am I gonna put my boobs? And my belly's gonna be flattening all over the place, and my thighs are gonna be clapping, and I really don't have the energy for people looking at me that way. That time people are busy with their lives, hey? Hey, people are busy with their lives. They're busy with their lives, their own struggles. They probably feel like imposters in their own lives. Shit. I might need a refill. People are too busy with their own lives and struggling with their own issues to give an actual fuck. And now Mputi is putting me on the spot and saying, Dimhle, what a wow. I've been no, Mputi. I've been no, girl. I've been no. It's tough out here for a thug. All this damn sauce, all the damn time. Oh my God, Taryn, why would you never wear a crop top with that body? Do you see? It manifests in so many areas of our lives, you guys. It consumes us. You know, I remember, I think post-birth of now I had 2 children. And I was crying because I was like, what business do I have raising people? What the hell do I know about raising human beings? Like, the way that imposter syndrome is structured is that it consumes all of your life. You know, it steals all the joy out of it, because you're constantly so afraid that people are going to know that you're not what you, like, this incredible person that you are. Like, I feel people will be like, oh, you're such a great mom, and I'd want to cry, because I feel like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't know. But, like, when have I ever been a mom before? Like, except for now. So how am I supposed to know? It's freaking trial and error. My children are two social experiments. It's a freaking one gigantic law after the other, because Jesus, the mess. But also, like, it's such an incredible thing for me, you know? Taryn says, but about crop tops. So Taryn says she doesn't believe she has the body for it. She believes she needs to work out first and have all things flat before. Girl, please, have you met my rose, baby? Have you met my papa, baby? Hey, my boobs they've got no control. They just hang every place. You understand? But I was just like, even me, so I must die without ever wearing a crop top. Aibo, guys. And then Bulunga's like, the other side of imposter is that it makes you accept the least from everyone around you, because you're gonna make me cry. Bulunga. So Bulunga's saying we accept bare minimum from people because we feel like imposters. So you never require more from people because you feel like by exam, you know, they're doing you a favor anyway. And that is so painful, because for me, that is so real. Oh, fucking hell, Bulunga. Jesus, press buttons, why don't you? I don't have enough wine. Bare minimum, we take bare minimum because we believe that we don't deserve anything more, and that there's nothing more out there for us, because even bare minimum, if they found out who we are, they would never give us anything value. We don't believe that people do things because people generally don't even do things because we're such an incredible, because like they like you, you're like they're people, so they do nice things for you regardless. Wow, I'm gonna take a moment. This is rough. So Deborah is saying, ever had a feeling where your spirit tells you should be here and you are nowhere, and you think, fuck this life, but when you think about children, you want to be better? I get it. Like, it's an insistent ringing between your ears that, like, can you, like, but you could be so far. You could be so much more. And because Galoko, and you procrastinate to a point where you never submit anything, you never go anywhere. You also self-sabotage to a point where anything that is given to you, you feel like you don't deserve, so you never take it. And then you self-sabotage by taking opportunities that are bare minimum, that will give you minimum responsibility, and you can excel in those, but you still feel like nothing. You expect selling in those because in terms of challenges, they don't freaking challenge you. The responsibility is not up to par. You need to be elevated in terms of responsibility, but you take minimal stuff in instances of career that pay you just enough for you to be able to eat, if even, because if you took stuff that was at your level, you would then have to succeed. And there's nothing wrong with that, because imposters are highly driven people that thrive on challenges. And it's like almost needing to flip the conversation in your head into saying, you know what, I need to continuously be challenged, and that it's okay if I'm challenged and I fail, because I know that the next time, because I learn so quickly, I'll do better. You know, we take bare minimum. And the NYIE Saleyo. And the NYIE And Lazarine is like, just because I can't speak French does not mean I'm dumb. Self-doubt almost stole my confidence until I said Futsek. Now get in. Yeah, within again. So that's another thing, right? another thing about being an imposter is that, like, there could be like something really huge, and once you go fuck it, imposters have days when they're like fuck it, and they say fuck it, and then they're in there, and then they like, because they're people who thrive on being challenged. They're gonna listen, they're gonna do the most, and then walk out of there thinking, yo, they could see me, oh no, ish, and I should have, and ish, 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 ish. Yeah, guys. Yo, guys. Like, at some point, we need to have that internal conversation, Etty. It's okay to not know everything, Like, we're in this life and we're constantly learning. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a continuous learner, and because we know what success tastes like, we can taste it over and over again, as long as we're open to learning and knowing that we have an appetite for success, because imposters have an appetite for success. And that's why they push through, and they're in spaces where I feel like, I shouldn't be here, because it feels like this monumental achievement. And so Debza is saying, guys, I'm sending you so much love, because like I'm feeling the vibes from over here. It's tough for a thug, yo. It really is. Debra is saying, we have watched too many State of the Nation addresses, and it's time we have this conversation. State of the Self address. Yeah. This journey, this trip, this need to understand, I don't think it should ever stop, because once we stop wanting to know and understand what's going on, then this is when you're done, you want to put an end to it all, because you're just like, I don't know how to do this anymore. You know what I mean? So we need to definitely delve deeper. We can't keep pointing at other people as if there's no internal stuff that needs to happen for us. You know what I mean? I'm with you there. The State of the Self address is definitely a big one. I think how Apple Wind Down started is, I was having a rant about being an adult, and then Nomduka was like, you need to do this regularly, and I was just like, who the fuck wants to listen to me ranting? Why? People have lives. People, like, it's my insistent belief that people have better things to do, and so the challenge of not being palatable was a big one. But then I was just like, look, I'm always renting Vele, and I like looking at myself when I speak, so there'll definitely always be one person watching, and that would be me. And clearly also Tika and all of you, and this interrogation and the idea of being a grown-up, interrogation of the idea of being a person who's fully functional, and the idea of being a person who's self-assured, and how do you become self-assured when it's always been a thing that shouldn't happen, you're too arrogant. How do you become self-assured in healthy ways that leave you feeling like you're a beautiful addition to whatever scenario? And I guess, I think as someone who lives with the syndrome every day, I struggle with thinking that I'm a fantastic addition to any scenario, I just think, oh no, people must be so tired of me, or people must be struggling to have me around. And strangely enough, so I'm an extroverted introvert. And for the most part, if I could, I'd probably spend a lot of time on my own. But the anxiety induced by being on my own and not being functional would also render me terribly depressed, because I need input. I need external, maybe not validation, but certainly stimulation. Because I don't think I'd survive if there was none of that. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't think I need to be saying anything, to be perfectly honest. I felt like I needed to own this in front of everyone. I needed also to know that it's not anything unique. It's not just me. It's a communal experience. And the feeling of being undervalued that I tuck away because I feel like I don't deserve shit anyway is not unfounded. And the requirement that from that feeling that I then overexert on people, where I demand all sorts of things, is also based on the fact that I feel like, sometimes I just take too little, and there's nothing unreasonable about the things that I want, about the kind of work I want to do, and the kind of mother I am, all of these things that I think about are bound in reality. They can happen. And I need to then believe that when they do happen, I deserve them, But I'm struggling a lot with that. I struggle a lot with that, In fact, this afternoon I was saying there's no such thing as living a fake life. I may walk around telling people, no, you're living a fake life. Is that champagne fake? If you're not drinking champagne. Are those shoes fake? Is Nasdee not wearing those shoes? Is that building they're in fake, and external drivers? While you are trying to fake it until you make it, people will be like, it's not really, you're living a fake life. No, it's real. Lazarine says she had to hide her personality moving to France because she thought that perhaps she would be a lot. What do you mean? You're a lot of good things is what you are. She says that people around her would not get this, and it was a lot, and it takes work to come back to yourself. And that's the scary thing, right? Getting so lost in the feeling of being an imposter that you lose so many parts of yourself just so that you feel like you belong to a place, in a career, in a relationship, even in your own body, because there's people who spend so much time fighting their bodies so that their bodies can fit into spaces. That feeling of, my tummy is not flat enough. Or this other lady was like, she wants me to model. And I looked at her, I was like, girl, have you seen me though? Like, I feel like you haven't seen me. I'm not hourglass shaped. I don't have the butt and stuff. I'd have to do some serious squats to even begin to have some semblance of a bum. And so you chop and you change everything about you just so that you don't have to feel like an imposter. And the weird thing is, right, because it's internal, you constantly feel like an imposter. So you're like, if these people had to see that at some point I was size 48 and now I'm 38, oh no, I shouldn't eat so much because just now everybody's going to reject me on the basis of my body. Your own presence in a space and how much space you take up. And you take polite little space. Unlike me, who takes up a lot of space. I feel like with my personality, I take up a lot of space. And then with my body, I take up a lot of space. And sometimes I'm so painfully aware of it. And I feel like those places make me so grossly uncomfortable that I don't want to be in spaces where I feel like my being is too big. It's a lot, like Lazarine is saying. my arms are too big and my belly is too big and my face is too round, and there's too much of me to politely be in that space. There's too much of me to be acceptably in that space. My voice is too big for a girl like me to be accepted into that place, because I'm already taking up too much place. It means go a lot, babes. And so sometimes, well, maybe not sometimes I think my behaviors are that of a person who's self-harming, right? Because self-sabotage comes in different ways. I feel like sometimes I self-harm. I do things to my body, whether consciously or subconsciously, that I already know that will harm my body, so that it can be a self-fulfilling prophecy, really, and it's a very unhealthy thing. Of course, you know that already. Very unhealthy relationship with my career, where I accept bare minimum, and I pick up scraps because I'm so afraid of the responsibility of actually acting deservedly. Only recently I've kind of turned the tide with kind of relationshiping, where I don't accept little. I take what I need, and in terms of parenting, cutting out the levels of toxicity that make it difficult for me to feel like I'm doing well as a parent, It's been scary. It still is. It's scary because I'm not over the mountain by a long shot. But I feel like there's been a level of liberation in terms of the decisions I take. Yeah, you guys. In physics, I was taught that matter has mass and it occupies space. We need to occupy our space because we matter. God damn it. Be a philosopher. We definitely do. You mean? Zosie advised us to cement ourselves. We need to, but the thing is that we take up space. We take up space and we still don't think we matter. We take up space, but we still don't think we matter. Herein lays the problem. And you find that a lot of people around us see that we matter, but we struggle to believe that we matter. And what is that? What is that? What is it about ourselves that makes us feel like we don't matter? Yeah. It also comes with the superiority complex, right? Imposter syndrome comes... It comes with a superiority complex. Because Tina, we think... And this is me about to close this conversation. Because, guys, at some point, I need to close this conversation. It's a superiority complex in what way? In the way that we think that for every single breath that we're taking, somebody is taking note, and they are assigning points, Like for every single thing you think, it's a superiority complex because we think that other people are insistently watching us, and that they actually give a fuck, which they probably don't. And so you don't even need to feel like a fraud because nobody actually gives a fuck, And that's not just me being tough, but in the way that superiority works, it says that everybody is watching you and they care about everything that you do. And it's not necessarily the fact, It's you. It's you who's doubting yourself. As a result, you think everybody else is going to start doubting you. Lazarine is saying, and until you can heal within, no matter what other people say about you being amazing, it still feels like you're pouring water into a stone, and we need to self-work and stop calling it a white people thing. There's no such thing as a white people thing. We struggle with stuff because we're humans, and living in this life is tough, and we carry so much of other people's crap, Oh, Bulungu is so intelligent. From being yay small, everybody says you're intelligent. Oh, Lazarine is so sensitive. And so you live these roles that are assigned to you, and it takes you a really long time to figure out what it means to work towards a different identity from what's been assigned to you in these different ways. And that if you are for a moment not intelligent, by your own standards, then people are going to cash out. Oh, and if but for a moment you're way too sensitive, people are now going to know that you're always the sensitive child. So it's definitely self-work. And there's no way we can do this on our own, Still my ancestors, because also those people course through our veins, and their stuff also course through our veins. There's so much resolving we need to do for ourselves so that our children don't have to suffer similar fates. We cannot leave it to the next generation. My brother and I have a theory that, and I feel like I'm going to cry, so give me a second. So my brother and I have this theory that every generation wins, right? So it's the whole quote that every generation has its own fight. So our theory is that there was a generation in our ancestry that fought for education and got it. There was a generation that fought for land and got it. And currently we're exercising great emotional difficulty. And all four of us are exercising that. And I'm really grateful that we all see it, even though we see it in different ways. But I'm grateful that we see it. And we pull in the ancestral aspect because we understand that those people may have died, but because they walk with us, and sometimes some of them are us, there is this lifetime and previous lifetime work that needs doing, and we cannot leave it just in jail because we think that the work is that kind of thing about psychology. It's just for white people. We've got to win some of these things for the next generation, so that they don't have to exercise those demons. They can next level. They can next level. I don't want my children to feel like imposters. I want them to know that they belong in spaces, And it's through their lived lives and my confidence, at least my postured confidence, that makes them feel like, you know what? I belong at Comic-Con. I should be homeschooled. I can have 100,000 extramural activities. I don't have to know one thing. I can know a lot of things, and I can be incredible at different things. I can be mid-level at different things, and it's okay. It's my life's work. It's also really, truly speaking, my wish that they don't feel the way that I do constantly, because I'm an incredibly talented human being, and I am an all-rounder, and I struggle with that so much. It pains me to even say it with my mouth because I'm in complete disbelief. I'm in complete disbelief. So I am the life of the party, and I'm also the sensitive one. I'm also the sensitive one. I'm also the intelligent one. I'm all these things wrapped out into a bundle of Kanyisa. And I don't have a choice to make. I don't have to feel like I'm a fraud for being any of it. Right. I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining this week's Apple Wine Down. And thank you for helping me adult. I feel like this is definitely one of my best adulting moments. Because we're doing this shit together. It's rough. It's really rough, but we're doing this shit together. And I promise it gets better. I don't know how it gets better. I think we learn better and we do better and we become better at humaning. And yes. So I always say this. Apple hashtag Apple Wine Down. I am super keen to know what you want to talk about, because I'm always talking about what I want to talk about. And because I care about being in conversation with you guys, I'm super keen to hear some of the stuff that we talk about. And so I'll be on the lookout for some of your comments. And if I can pick out next week's topic from there, I'll definitely do so. And I will put it up on Monday, just as a reminder that at 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, it's a date with me being an apple on the Apple Wine Down. It's goodbye. Yes, Liz. It's this hard work. The floor is always a good place to start. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. You will never ever know how much I appreciate this. It's like coming out. My name is Kanyisa. I genuinely feel like an imposter, and now that I know better, I'll do better. Thank you. Bye-bye.